Okay, so we're gonna go over my complete Michael Myers collection in 1/6 scale, all custom, yes, complete. I have every version from every film, short of the kid versions because nobody really makes a good one of those. So, but every adult version of Myers, I have every version, and I'm gonna be going over it in this video. Took some time to get all these, but now that I have them, it's about time to do a video and do it justice. So, over here we have my 78 Myers. This is a full figure by One's Customs. One's Customs did a crazy job on this. The weathering on the coveralls is phenomenal. The tailoring of the coveralls to the body is spot on. The whole stature and like just the way the figure looks when you have them displayed on the shelf just really screams to 78 Myers, and I'm very, very happy to have this piece. I mean, look at the head sculpt right there. Ones did a great job on this head sculpt. Amazing, amazing work. Paint app is amazing. The hair work is like phenomenal. Look at the weathering on the coveralls, just absolutely incredible. A little pumpkin back there. Got him holding the Furgo knife. Now, One's went into so much detail on this that he actually, it's hard to see, but he actually painted cuticles onto the nails of the figure. That's insane. Yeah, we got a bust down here. The bust has a fabric collar and sculpted chest piece. This is a Tot's head that One's repainted, so it looks amazing. I mean, One's really turned this head into something like it doesn't even look like a Tot's head anymore. This looks like a fully custom sculpted and painted head. One's completely transformed this and did an amazing job. Over here we have another head. This one's by One's Customs, and this is an older head, but still holds up. It's an amazing, amazing head sculpt. Love the paint app, the sculpt, and hair work on this one as well. The base over here is also by One's Customs. The grass is kind of like a fake grass material right here. Sculpted leaves, and yeah, really adds a lot to the piece. Yeah, this is a full figure by One's Customs, and yeah, just an amazing, amazing piece. This is probably the best 78 I've seen him do, in my opinion. Not saying the other ones aren't as good, but in my opinion, this is the best one I've seen him do, weathering-wise and tailoring and sculpting all together. This is my favorite one, and I'm very happy to own it. That is my 78. Moving on over, we have the H2 Warlock from Halloween 2, and I got him on a One's Customs base over here. This base actually came with the 78, but I decided to put him on the sidewalk base instead. So look at the base right there. Hand painted by One's. Sculpted boots. Got the scalpel in his hand. This is a full figure by One's Customs, as I said. We got the amazing head sculpt up here. Great weathering on that. The hair work. This just screams Halloween 2. This is one of One's newer sculpts on this figure that he did for the Halloween H2 movie, and I think he did a great job. I mean, this is one of the better head sculpts I've seen him do, honestly. I absolutely love it. Yeah, and Paul Manzi actually did the coveralls on this. Well, he didn't make the coveralls, he weathered them and repainted them. So they were kind of like a blue color before, and he ended up repainting them and weathering them, made them the accurate spruce green color they were in the film. And yeah, look at that. Paul did an amazing job weathering these coveralls, recoloring them and all that stuff. You got the bullet holes in there. They are very well tailored to the body, so One's did a great job on that. Yeah, amazing piece. Love Halloween 2. Big fan of that movie. Yeah. Actually, there's not a Halloween movie in the franchise I don't like. I like literally every one, so there's not a single one I have a problem with. I know some people have problems with certain ones, but I mean, I can't think of a single one that's bad in my opinion. Look at the head sculpt one more time on this figure right here. Look at that. Amazing, amazing piece. And yeah, so that is my 78 and my H2 Warlock Myers figures. Full figures by One's Customs. And we're going to be moving on. Okay, so we got some interesting ones over here. We have the H4 figures. We have on the left the bandage version from the beginning of the film before he gets his coveralls and kills the mechanic. So we got him in the mechanic's kind of garage kind of setting on the base and diorama over here. Penny's just like in the film. Got him in the garage setting, as I said. Got a can of gasoline back there, a metal barrel, some cleaning products, random signs that you'd see in a mechanic shop. This whole base is done by Paul Manzi over Distress Labs. He did a killer job on this. Got a wire hanging off the top over here with the chain. Amazing detail. Paul does not miss a beat on these dials. Did an amazing job. Look over here. Got a beer can. Just amazing detail. Now, on this figure, the head sculpt is by One's Customs. It is a bandage, is a real bandages around the head, but the head is sculpted. This head is, once again, by One's Customs, and he did a killer job on this. The blood work, the weathering, absolutely amazing. As for the body, Paul Manzi did the body. So Paul Manzi at Distress Labs did this. If you're interested in one of these, he could probably make one for you. I definitely recommend it. He did an amazing job on this. He used the Fison body, so the body is very heavy and very durable. It's a very heavy figure. It's probably one of the heaviest ones I own, honestly. Paul did a great job on the weathering on the hands. He added the burns and all that stuff. Did an amazing job on that. Amazing work. He also did the weathering on the hospital gown. Great work on that. If you looked at the back of them, there'd be straps just like on a normal hospital gown. Just amazing detail. He even added the burns on the legs, just the texture there. The metal pole that he is holding that he killed the mechanic with is a real metal. It is very sharp on the ends. It's really adds a lot to the figure. Overall, amazing piece. And as I said, in order to complete this collection, I had to have all the versions, so definitely got to have the Bandage Myers. Even though it's only a brief scene in the movie, gotta have it to complete the set. So the head sculpt, once again, by One's Customs, and the body and base and diorama is by Paul Manzi over Distress Labs. And we're moving over here. We have the Halloween 4 figure. Okay, so the head sculpt on this figure is once again by One's Customs. One's did an amazing job on this. It looks spot on to the film. Not the best mask in the franchise, but I can get past it and actually really enjoy this film. Had a lot of fun with it. And love this version of Myers. The mask this sculpt is spot on to what the mask looked like in the film. Great hair work, great paint application. The burns on the hand over here. Now, once again, the body of this figure is done by Paul Manzi over Distress Labs. Same thing with the rooftop base down here, which I'll get to in just a second. First, I'm going to go over the coveralls. Paul did a great job on these coveralls. He added some extra weathering to the hands, the burns, make them pop a little bit more. They are very well tailored to the body, so he did a great job on that. The weathering on them is phenomenal. And as for the base, the rooftop base, it's pretty simple, but it really adds a lot to it. So he's still making these bases if you're interested in one. Matter of fact, all these figures you see in this video, you can still get. Just hit up Paul Manzi over Distress Labs, hit him up, hit One's up, and you can still get all these pieces, so definitely do it. It's definitely worth it. So it's like down here, this is actually like real kind of, it's wood, but it feels like shingles, which is really cool. We got a little, hard to see back there, but there's you can't really see it, but there's actually a antenna or antenna piece that was on the roof. Yeah, it's hard to see back there. Maybe I'm saying that wrong, but there's like an antenna thing back there. There it is. You can kind of see it right over there. Yeah. Got a wire going across there. Overall, just an amazing piece. The rooftop base really completes this. The head sculpt, once again, by One's is amazing. And Paul killed it on this body, did an epic job. You'll notice in this video, almost 99% of these figures are done by One's Customs or Paul and One's Distress Labs and One's, I should say. So that is my Halloween 4 figures. This is the bandage one, the bandage version, and the normal version of H4. Moving on. Okay, so over here we have obviously the Halloween 5 figures and the Halloween 6. We're gonna start over here with the Halloween 5s. So if you look over here, we have the Brute version from Halloween 5 where he wore the Brute mask. Once again, a very brief scene in the movie, but you gotta have it to complete the set. Head sculpt is by One's Customs. The hair work on this is phenomenal. The paint work is just incredible. This is an amazing sculpt by One's, very unique, and it's just amazing. And as for the body, once again, the body is done by Paul Manzi over Distress Labs. He put you got 2 sets of hands here, gripping hands and grasping hands. So if you want to reach out like he's grasping or going to strangle someone, you can do that. Paul did a great job on the weathering on these coveralls. They are amazingly detailed. Very well tailored to the body. He did a great job on this. Paul mainly does dioramas, but I'm telling you, he should do a lot more figures because he is really good at making figures, and I think he needs to make a lot more of them. So Paul, if you're listening, keep making figures. You do a really good job, and this shows it right here. So look at that. One more look at that. There's the Brute version from Halloween 5. Look at that, just amazing. You notice in the back right there, we have a scythe. I didn't have, obviously there's no room to put that in the Halloween 5 right here in his hand, but that scythe is by Tennille Customs, and it is real wood and real metal. I'm not going to show that in too much detail because it's kind of hard to get back there right now, especially with one hand holding the camera. So over here we have the normal H5 from Halloween 5. We have him holding his knife just like in the pose he has in the movie. He tends to hold his knife like this a lot in that film, I noticed. Yeah. Look at that. Look at the detail on that head sculpt. Amazing detail. You'll notice on the head sculpt, one's, the triangle right here around the nose, you might be able to see it briefly. So in the film, I'm not, most people know this, but if you didn't, one of the scenes that Donald Pleasence shot with Don Shanks was he actually, at the beginning of the film, he hit when it was the scene at the end of the movie where he's hitting him with the board and the chain fell on Myers, and he broke his nose. So Donald Pleasence actually broke his nose, so they had to adjust the mask to put a new nose piece on there so he could wear the mask for the rest of the film, because I guess that was one of the first scenes that they shot. So One's actually added that detail, which is absolutely amazing. And as for the body, once again, Paul Manzi over Distress Labs did this body as well. The coveralls, the tailoring is absolutely amazing. Just very well put together. He also added the burns on the hand. I don't just see right there, but yeah, he added the texture. You can see right there. He added the burns himself, did an amazing job on that. He even had burns on the neck, which you could see right there. Just an amazing piece. Yeah. So once again, the H5s are by Paul Manzi Distress Labs, and head sculpts are by One's Customs. Look at that. One more look at that. And in the back, you'll notice there's a maximum security thing. This was supposed to be a Halloween 6 diorama from the end of the film of Halloween 6. However, this is the only way I could display them, so the base is just sitting there in the back. When I get some more details one day, I can possibly spread these out a little bit more, but this is how I have them for right now. So over here we have the Halloween 6 Myers. This is a full figure by One's Customs himself. One's did a killer job on this. This is his newest version of the Halloween 6, and he did an amazing job on this. This is the best version of the sculpt for Halloween 6 that he has done. He's done Halloween 6 Myers before, but this is easily the best sculpt he's done, most accurate one to the film. Burns on the neck. One's did great tailoring on this. The coveralls are the right color like they are in the film, exact like dead on. The blood work is amazing. The tailoring, even the pockets, everything, the detail on the coveralls is just spot on to the film. The hands are all burned up and he sculpted the burns on there and stuff like that. So Ones did a killer job on that. And he's holding the surgical knife, also by Ones Customs. You know, I see it, but it's all bloodied up and everything. Ones did a great job weathering the boots. They have real laces. Look at the detail on that. Head sculpt one more time. Look at that. Love Halloween 6. When it comes to Halloween 6, I gotta say, I think I like the, I think most people are on my side with this one too. I prefer the theatrical version over the director's cut. I do like certain aspects of the director's cut, like how they changed some of the music in certain scenes and stuff like that. Certain scenes were a little bit different, but the theatrical version is just, it's just better in my opinion. So I do like both versions. I'm just saying, like, if I had to choose between the two, I'd go theatrical. Yeah, love Halloween 6. Great version of Myers, very brutal. Yeah, absolutely love that film. All right, so that's the Halloween 6 one more time. Halloween 5 versions right here. All right, that's the Halloween 5 and Halloween 6 versions. Now we're going to move on to H2O and the Resurrections. All right, so over here we have a little paper with a sketch of Myers from Halloween H2O, which you would see at the beginning of the film when they're showing the opening credits, and they show all the stuff that Loomis had pinned to the wall, and this is one of the photos they had there, a little sketch. Okay, here's the H2O. We're gonna start with that. The H2O, the head sculpt is by Ones Customs. Ones did an amazing job on this. The fact that Ones does every version of Myers sculpts, he does literally every one. You can literally get the best sculpts from him, and he does, like I said, he does all the versions of Myers, which you'll see in this video, even some concept ones. So definitely hit him up if you're interested in one of these. And then, like I said, the head sculpt on this is amazing. This just screams H2O. Hair work is great, weathering is great, amazing sculpt. And over here we have the body. Once again, this is a body. The H2O body is done by Paul Manzio for Distress Labs. Paul did an amazing job on this. The tailoring is phenomenal. He used a very heavy body, so it's very well built and very well put together. The coveralls are perfectly tailored to the body. Amazing, amazing work. Pretty heavy piece too. It's a really, really good heavy-duty figure. Look at that. Let's sculpt one more time with the H2O. All right, and then we're going to go over here to the Halloween Resurrection figures. I'm trying to keep this video as brief as possible so you guys aren't sitting here for an hour. Here's the Halloween Resurrection stuff. As you can tell, we have the normal version and the burnt version from the end of the film. We're going to start with the normal version. Okay, so the body on this Resurrection is by Paul Manzio over Distress Labs once again. Did a crazy job on this. You even got the snaps and all the right spots up here. Very accurate to the film, accurate color, very well tailored to the body. Just amazing, amazing work. Yeah, as I said, Paul should do more figures because it's crazy how good he does on these, and he needs the, yeah, he's proving it, and he needs to do more of them because he can easily sell more of these because a lot of this collection could not be complete without Paul's work, as you can tell by a lot of these figures being part his and part One's. So here's the head sculpt. Once again, the head sculpt is by Ones Customs. Ones did a crazy job on this. Amazing, amazing work. It kind of looks like it's discolored right there, but that's just the lighting. Yeah. And look at that. Amazing work. Ones did a killer job on it. The sculpt, like the way one sculpts all these Myers sculpts, and they're all very distinct to each film, and the weathering is slightly different. Like it's crazy the amount of detail that he puts into these because they're so screen accurate. It's crazy. And one more look at that. Got him holding Ones Customs knife right there. all bloodied up. All right. That is the normal resurrection figure by Paul Manzi and One's Customs. And over here we have the burnt version of Halloween Resurrection. So the head sculpt, once again, is by One's Customs. One's did this is just incredible. Love this sculpt. This is a amazing figure, very well detailed. I'll get into the body in just a second, but look at that head sculpt. This scene was only in a brief part of the movie where they showed us a mask using the body bag. It was all burnt and everything, but I mean, for it only being that brief of a scene, One's captured it perfectly. All charred and just nasty looking. And as for the body on this, once again, it is by Paul Manzi over at Distress Labs. And look at this. So when Paul asked me how he asked my opinion, like how weathered I wanted the body, I told him just have fun with it. I told him have fun with it, do your thing, and just go crazy. One thing about the hobby is you got to be patient with the artist. You got to let them do their thing. Like, let them have fun with it, you know? Don't rush them. If you rush them, they're going to give you something, and it's not going to be what you want. If you let them take their time, and you let them just have fun with it, they appreciate that more. And I'm telling you, when you let them take their time, the amount of detail that goes into them is so worth it and so much better. So don't ever rush the artist. Just, even if it takes a while, you'll get your figure. But understand the detail, if you wait and you're patient, the detail will be exactly what you wanted. Paul added some wires around him, like in the garage, when he's all tangling the wires at the end of the movie in the garage. The coveralls are very textured. They feel burnt, even though they're not. He did a great job at making it feel burnt. The hands all charred up. Yeah, Paul did an amazing job on this. Really, really completes it. I don't think anyone's ever done a burnt version of Myers in figure form. I know one does the heads, but I can't think of anyone who's ever done a body form, so Paul might be the first one. And it absolutely incredible. All right, so that's the Halloween Resurrection figures in the H2O. Gonna be moving on to the Rob Zombie figures now. Okay, so over here we have the Escape Myers and the RZH1. So in the background of the Escape Myers, it's supposed to be his cell from the movie, where he's a little. It looks like there's a table with art stuff on it, all his masks hanging in the back. Really cool and good detail there. A stack of newspapers back there. Each mask is different. So Paul Manzi did the dioramas on these, and he did a killer job. And I put them next to each other because it's kind of like the transition. You have the escape in the hospital going over to the Myers house. And look at that. You look at all the masks back there. Paul did a great job on that. And so the Escape Myers is different. Most people, when they have the Escape Myers figure, they have it with the chains around him and stuff like that. Like when he's walking on the hallway, he's gonna escape and stuff like that. The version I got is the version where he kills Big Joe Grizzly. So this is supposed to be that scene right before he gets his coveralls. Yeah, we have the knife. I believe this knife is by One's Customs. The head sculpt on this Escape Myers is by One's Customs, as well as the pumpkin mask and the robe. So let's look at that. This is one of One's Customs' newest pumpkin masks and head sculpts. The pumpkin mask on these actually is removable. I'm not going to take it off. It's kind of hard to do in a video. However, his new one, they used to have a strap around them. Now they have, now it just sticks, now it just like, you put it on the face and it almost suctions onto it. So you don't need a string to go around it anymore. The hair work on this is phenomenal. The robe, once again, is by One's Customs. Now, this whole figure, besides the robe and the head sculpt, is done by Paul Manzi at Distress Labs again. Further proof that he does amazing figures. So Paul did the weathering on the feet, the flip-flops, the pants. He weathered the robe. He weathered the shirt. All grimy and dirty, just like in the scene where he killed Big Joe Grizzly. So just amazing detail there. This figure is very tall, very all the Rob Zombie Myers figures I have are taller than the rest of these figures, because let's face it, the guy who played Myers, Tyler Mane, who played Myers in Rob Zombie's films, is a fuckload taller than the rest of the actors. So the figure's got to equal up to that, if you know what I mean. So once again, that is the Skate Myers head sculpt by One's Customs, and the rest done by Paul Manzi over at Distress Labs. And over here, we have the RZH1. This base is by One's Customs at the Myers house. Got the boarded up window over there, real wood. If you look over here, there's walls, there's holes in the wall with the wires coming through and stuff like that. Amazing detail there, real wood floor. I got a couple extra heads down here. This is an older head. This head's supposed to be, is a really old head by One's, but it's supposed to be a, the one on the right here is supposed to be a, the one from the movie poster. So it's a little more dark, a little more narrow. Yeah, so that's supposed to be in the movie poster version. Over here, we have another one that's kind of older with sculpted hair. One's does not normally do sculpted hair, so this head sculpt is pretty cool to have since he doesn't do a lot of those. And that's just the Tots head. The reason I have the Tots head here is, so the head sculpt over here, the body on this is by Tots. Now, you may notice it looks different. That is because I customized it, I reworked it, I recolored the coveralls, I re-dyed them, and I swapped the hands for custom ones, put a custom knife in his hand, and I even put the photo of him and young Michael and Boo in his hand. Yeah, fully customized this thing, and I even re-weathered the tombstone in the back with a, I did like a wash on it to kind of add a little more this weathering to it. And now, the head sculpt. This is the best head sculpt I've seen for an RZH1 figure. The head sculpt is by One's Customs, and this is his newest 2025 version. Not a whole lot of these around right now, but I'm very, very happy to have it. Very happy to have gotten it. Amazing work on that. Look at the detail. This is easily the best version of the sculpt we've ever gotten. Easily. And One's did a great job. He is definitely improved. I mean, these are his older ones. Look at the difference between what it looks like now. Amazing. Yeah. I'm gonna look at the bottom of that. Go up. Amazing, amazing figure. So this is my RZ Escape Myers and RZ H1 Myers figure from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2007. With dioramas by Paul Manzi of Distress Labs. And yeah, moving on down, we're going to go to the dream sequence from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Okay, so over here we have the dream sequence from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Got him holding the severed head of Richard Brake from the beginning of the film. Got a piece of glass in his hand, all bloodied up. The head sculpt, once again, is by One's Customs. Look at that. Amazing, amazing detail on that. Great work by One's. The blood work, the color. This just screams like this scene in the movie. Like, it's just amazing. I got to get a road base eventually for this to kind of complete it, but yeah, look at that. This is probably the best Rob Zombie Halloween 2 dream sequence I've seen. Easily the best one. Yeah, it's wet looking, like when he's walking in the rain. It's very, very accurate to the film. It's very grimy, and it looks like he's walking in the rain. Like, the blood looks fresh. So the body of this figure is done by Daniel Terzo over at Gallactibles. He did a great job on this. Did an amazing, amazing job. The weathering is phenomenal. The coveralls are by David Tucker over at Sea Creations, but they were weathered by Daniel Terzo. The hand over here, the hands are custom as well. This hand came holding the severed head. Look at that head right there. Look at that. Amazing detail there. Look at that. Amazing. Just overall a big, intimidating presence on the shelf. Like I said, this is probably the best version of an RZH2 dream sequence that I have seen. All the artists involved on this did a great job. Over here we got a little axe, the fire axe he was holding, also from the beginning of the film. Just amazing, amazing detail. I mean, this is incredible. I can't say enough good things about this figure. Very happy to have it. This is the only one that's ever been done in this to this amount of detail, and I absolutely love it. head sculpt one more time. The hair work on it is great. Ones did a great job on this. The paint work, like I said, the blood work, very, very screen accurate. The coveralls, very well tailored to the body by David, and the weathered perfectly by Daniel. Amazing, amazing work. Oh, the severed head over here is also by Once Customs. Yeah. All right. Moving on over here. Okay, so over here we have the Hobo Myers, obviously. So this version of the Hobo Myers is a concept. This is a version of, it's supposed to be a version as if Rob Zombie did a Halloween 3. So picture if he did a Halloween 3, the transition of what the mask would look like in that third film. That is what Ones was going for with this particular figure. As you can tell, the mask is more weathered. Yeah, this is a full figure by Ones Customs. He did a great job on this. The boots are the real laces. This is amazing, amazing work. The weathering is phenomenal. All tattered up. The knife is by Chris East. He used to work with Distress Labs a while back, and he did a great job on this knife. So if he watches this, huge shout out to you, man, for doing that knife. As I said, the figure is by Once Customs. Amazing, amazing work. Look at the detail on this head. Look at that. Real hair, real beard. It's just amazing. The vest is very well weathered. You got the pull strings on it, the real zipper. Overall, just a big, intimidating piece. And you look over here at this side of the mask. See how the mask is kind of like falling apart over there too. The hair work on this is all matted and just grimy. Amazing work. Yeah. So this is the Hobo Myers I have. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Rob Zombie's Halloweens, especially the second one. I know a lot of people hate on the second one, but I fucking love that shit. I absolutely love it. Easily the most brutal version of Myers in Rob Zombie's films, and I like that a lot. Little pumpkin over here. So, the once again, look at the head sculpt. Amazing detail. Amazing. And over here, the hands are all bloodied up by Ones perfectly. Now, the diorama. This is supposed to be like a, the scene, kind of like the scene where he was, the fence is supposed to represent like kind of the scene where he was talking, the kid was asking if he's a giant and stuff like that. That's actually another way you can pose him on this dial. So the fence is real wood. You got a pallet, a 1/6 pallet back there. It says die. Because if you remember at the end of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, when he stabs when he stabs Loomis, he says die, which is probably the only time in the entire franchise you hear him speak. Most people hated that. I didn't have a problem with it. Didn't bother me. Got the DL for Distress Labs, says killer. He even threw in a random thorn symbol in the back, which is really cool. The lights are on there. Amazing, amazing detail. So that is my Hobo Myers from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2/3 concept. All right. And moving on. Now we're going to be going to the David Gordon Green trilogy. Yeah. So, scoot this over real quick. So, okay. We have the David Gordon Green trilogy. Right here. All three of them. So, we have the 2018. We're going to start with that one. The head sculpt is by Ones Customs. Ones did a great job on this. He's done some different versions of this head sculpt, and I think this is probably the best one he's done, so I'm very happy to have this one on the figure. The detail on it is phenomenal. The weathering, very spot on to the film. Love the new trilogy. I love all three of them, honestly. I know, like I said, there's not a Halloween film I don't like, so people can say whatever they want about the new trilogy, the Rob Zombie ones. I don't care. I love them all. All right, so here's the 2018 sculpt by Ones Customs. Great hair work, great paint application, very accurate to the film. The body on this is done by David Tucker over at C Creations. The coveralls are amazingly tailored to the body by David. Very accurate to the film. Color-wise, the pockets are accurate. He even did the pockets just like in the movie. If you pay it, it's hard to see in the movie, but he paid attention to details, put it that way. He actually put old man hands on the figure, so they're old looking and all hard to see, but they're like, they look burned, but they're not. They're just really wrinkly and old. He said he used old man hands. He hasn't done that since, but he said he wanted to do that on this figure, which fit perfectly. We got the blown off fingers over here. This hand is really detailed. It's hard to see, but there's actually veins painted on there. Just amazing, amazing detail. Got the extra hand over here before his fingers got blown off. Real metal hammer right here. This is by Chris East over at Distress Labs. He did a great job on that. Once again, he used to work with Paul Manzi, and he no longer does, but I was able to get some weapons from him before he left the hobby. So very happy to have that. This is another version of the head sculpt that one did. This is more of a concept version, and it's really good, but I like the other one better. But still a good addition. So overall, this is the 2018 version of Myers from the new trilogy. Look at that. All right, now we're going to be moving on. So we have the Halloween Kills. So the Halloween Kills figure here, head sculpt by One's Custom. Let's just get this out of the way. All three of these heads are by One's Customs. So the head sculpt and this is by One's Customs. This is probably the best version of the head I've seen One's do. I mean, this is very, very accurate. He does some other ones, but I think this is the best one he's done. Like, sculpt-wise, it looks different than all the other ones he's done. Paint job, everything. Amazing, amazing detail on that. Just, the burns are perfect. Amazing, amazing detail on that. I mean, I can't say enough good things about this. This is the only H Kills that looks like this, and that is because there's only one like it, because the head sculpt is by Ones, and the reason there's only one like it is because Paul Manzi did the body on the Halloween Kills, and this is the only one he's done to my knowledge. So over here, let's go down to the boots. Weathered perfectly. Paul did a great job weathering the hands on this. The knife is also by One's Customs right there. Amazing detail. The coveralls are amazingly detailed and weathered perfectly by Paul. Yeah, just amazing. Very well tailored to the body. They're kind of wet looking if you look at them in person, because they're supposed to represent the, like when he's walking out of the house and it's raining, you know. Yeah, the bandage hand over here, real bandage is just real tight around the hand. Amazing, amazing detail with his missing fingers. Just overall an amazing, amazing figure. Love Halloween Kills. And you guys are going to hate me for my next comment, but I think Halloween Ends might be my favorite one of the trilogy. Yep, I know I'm getting a lot of hate for that, but I don't give a crap. My opinion's my opinion. You could have yours, but I mean, like I said, I love all the Halloween films. I'm not saying by any means that Halloween Ends is one of the best films in the franchise. I'm not saying that at all. Do not take any heat to that. I'm saying I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, it's not one of the best ones, but I mean, I definitely enjoyed it. So, yeah, absolutely love that film. Probably the best in the trilogy, in my opinion. So over here, once again, head sculpt by One's Customs. Got the mold on his head, got the mold right there and everything like that, all just perfectly weathered. Amazing detail by One's. He went kind of crazy on the mold, which is what I like about this. Amazing, amazing detail. Look at the head sculpt one more time. Halloween Ends. And then we have the body. So the body, once again, is by Paul Manzi over at Distress Labs. Got the boots with the real laces, weathered perfectly. The coveralls are spot on. He said he had these coveralls laying around. They're older coveralls, but he really made them work, and they fit perfectly with the figure. And the way he weathered them with the mold on the shoulders is just spot on to the film. Once again, the knife is by One's Customs, all rusted. You'll notice all the knives on this are accurate, like in the film. Started off kind of cleaner in 2018, a little bloody, more bloody in Kills, and all rusted and old and looking in Ends. Paul did a great job weathering the hands, just grimy and nasty. Yeah. Got a lot of Christine vibes from Halloween Ends, which is kind of why I liked it. Going on down. All right, so that is the Halloween Ends. So you got the 2018 Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, the new trilogy. You look down here, we got a 1/6 scale iPhone, another hammer. This hammer's by David Tucker, and just a smashed pumpkin, which Paul Manzi actually did this pumpkin too. Really good detail. Looked like it got kicked and stuff like that. He actually he actually did the inside of it. So amazing detail on that. He did that a while back, but it's still a really good piece. Yeah, so that is my new David Gordon Green Trilogy set of figures. And we're going to be moving on over here to the final two. Now, you may say that that's all the versions from the film, which you are absolutely correct. But I have some concepts over here too. Let's move this out of here. So, we have the Halloween Kills heavily burned and battle damage concept from One's Customs. This is a full figure by One's Customs, just amazingly detailed. This is supposed to be if he just came out of the fire just real fucked up and real as if he didn't get out fast enough and just charred to hell. So the base is by Paul Manzi over Distress Labs. Got some smoke over there. It's kind of like a cotton material. And you got the flame lights inside of it, wood base, all charred. Amazing base by Paul Manzi. Great detail on that. As I said, the figure is a full figure by One's Customs. We're going to start with the head. Look at that. One's did a great job on this head. This is probably one of the best head sculpts I've ever seen him do on a Myers. The concept, but it's amazing. If you look at that, just charred to perfection. I mean, this is just amazing. Just grimy, gross, beat to hell. The coveralls are just, the whole body is completely sculpted underneath. So you have like, you look over there, you have like the burnt skin all the way across. It's completely sculpted all around it. So the coveralls are tattered perfectly by Ones and weathered perfectly, and just, they fit the body perfectly. Amazing, amazing detail. They have a knife. The knife is done by Ones. Did a great job on that. You see in the legs, he's got like a charred skin on the legs too. Amazing, amazing detail. Look at that one more time. I got a couple extras in this collection. Obviously over here I went over all the ones from the films, but I got one more surprise for you after this one. Full figure by One's Customs right here. Halloween Kills, heavily battle damage version. Yeah, full figure by One's Customs, base by Paul Manzi over Distress Labs. Great detail. And look at the top one more time. All right, now for the surprise. Most people don't know this figure exists, this next one. But we have, if you're a Dead by Daylight fan, for those of you who have no idea what Dead by Daylight is, I hope you do, because as a horror fan, it's one of the best horror games out there. And pretty much everyone should know what it is by now. But anyways, this is the version from Dead by Daylight. This is supposed to be like the prestige version, as you can tell from in the game. When you prestige your Myers, you can get the blood across the face. It is very accurate to that. This figure is a must-have in my collection. I have every version. I got a couple extras like right here. But yeah, this is the Dead by Daylight version right here. Very tall, very big figure. Accurate color. Very accurate to the film. The sculpt is by One's Customs. One's did an amazing job on this, capturing the look from the game perfectly. The weathering is phenomenal. Look at that. This if you've played the game, you know this is spot on. Yeah. The coveralls are the right color, perfectly bloody and just amazing. The boots are the accurate color from the game. Yeah. The knife, One's did a great job on the knife. Look at that. So the head sculpt by Ones, and the coveralls are done by David Tucker over at Sea Creations. He did a great job on these coveralls, from what I understand. The figure was completely reworked and re-weathered by One's Customs. So the coveralls are by David, head sculpt by Ones, but the whole body has also been reworked and re-weathered by Ones. Amazing, amazing detail on that. Look at that. One more time. Dead by Daylight. All right. So that is my complete collection of 1/6 scale Myers figures, all custom. And yeah. So thank you for watching, and very happy to have this collection complete, and a huge shout out to every artist involved who helped make this happen. If you're interested in any of these figures, once again, hit up Paul Manzi over at Distress Labs, hit up One's Customs, and hit up David Tucker. Hit these guys up if you want these. This took a long time for me to get all these, but I finally have it complete, and I'm very happy with it. So huge shout out to all those guys, and yeah, thank you for watching.